Welcome to the Recon Trader. In today's video, I will share with you the results so far of the free Binance Futures Grid bot that I deployed on the long only strategy, and the bot is trading BTC USDT perpetual futures contracts. Now, if you're not familiar with grid bots, they're pretty simple actually. They are just made up of limit orders. And the idea behind a long only grid bot is when the price goes down and hits these green grid lines, which are open limit orders, it will buy BTC. And when the price goes up, I'm not sure you can see the last two red lines on my grid. I'm just about to breach my grid level, but these two red lines are sell limit orders. So as the price goes up and hits those red lines, it will sell the BTC I have. And the last two red lines of my grid, which are limit sell orders, correspond to, if you look down here, my last two positions that I hold in BTC. This bot, when deployed, would buy or sell 0.001 BTCs. And the two yellow lines you see on the chart are actually lines that I dropped in from the TradingView tools to mark the top of my grid and the bottom of my grid. And as you can see, since I've deployed the bot on April 8th, the price action has pretty much moved up. I've got some choppiness, but overall it's moved up. And so the grids have moved up with it. And so if this price action continues, I will be exceeding the top of my grid here shortly. And at that point, the bot would no longer actually be trading unless the price action actually started to dip back down, and then it would start buying BTC as it hit these grid levels. All right, so that's enough jaw-jacking. Let's get to the actual results. So as you can see, I still have two open positions in BTC on the long side. The fact that they're in green means they're long. And you can see I have unrealized profit of $1.70 on those two positions. Now, what I'm actually interested in is the overall performance so far over a 5-day period of this particular bot. So I can click on grid trading, and that will bring up the strategy dashboard. And this is where you actually set up your grid bots. And you can choose to go neutral, long, or short, and then set up your upper limits and your grid spacing. And in this case, when I deployed the bot, I selected long only. And I will leave a link to that video in the description down below so you can see how I actually configured this particular bot. Today, we're just going to really be looking at the results for this bot. And in this case, you can see the active grid I have running was deployed on April 8th, and the direction was considered to be long only. My initial margin, which is essentially the amount of ammo I gave this bot of my own money, was $251, and my total profit is just around $49, or just over 19.5%. Now that's my total profit, which is my unrealized profit and my realized profit combined. So my realized profit is only $47, or just about 19%, and the unrealized profit is that amount we saw on the other screen, and it looks like it's dropped to around that $1.70 range. And you can see the duration of this bot has been deployed for 5 days. And my current liquidation price is $55,000. So if Bitcoin were to crash, I have quite a bit of cushion down to $55,745 before I'd actually get liquidated. Now, if I click on view, we can see a little more details of the actual configuration of this bot. And again, you can see it was BTC USDT perpetual contracts. The bot is long only. My total investment came to $2,259, and the way that is actually calculated is you take the $251 in initial margin and multiply that by 9x initial leverage, and that is how this figure is actually calculated. Now, my profit percentages are all calculated off of my initial margin. So the total profit of $49 or 19.5% is actually calculated off of the $251, not the total investment amount. these figures are all based on this initial investment of $251 because in reality, that's what's on the line for me. If this position was to get liquidated, that's what would actually get liquidated. And I limited that risk by choosing isolated margin versus cross margin mode. With isolated, it's isolated to this one position. With cross, it can actually be spread out over your other similar assets. For this particular grid strategy, I went with 40 grids. The quantity per order, it was 0.001 BTC. My price range was 46,000 to 64,000. And as you saw on the chart, we're about to exceed this level. And then my profit per grid came to 0.79%. I did not deploy a grid trigger start price. However, I did use stop triggers or stop losses, and my stop losses were set at 43,000 and 66,000. And then I chose to cancel all orders on stop. I did not select close all positions on stop. And then you can take a look at my actual current open orders, which are all limit orders. And I have 38 buy orders and those last 2 sell orders. And since the price action of the spot pretty much moved up, I haven't had a whole lot of action as far as trades go. And you can see my initial entry price was around 57,861. And because it was a long only bot and I didn't hold BTC, it had to actually buy some BTC, and it initially bought 0.012 BTC. And with that all being said, this bot is currently winning the battle with a total profit of just around $49 or about 19.5%. Now, the idea behind this bot was to test out the new long-only strategy that Binance just rolled out. And since we are at the top of my grid range, I'm actually going to go ahead and close this bot out. I can do that by simply clicking on terminate from my active grid screen. And so I click on terminate. It does ask to confirm the grid termination, and I click confirm, and now that bot has been terminated. And now it shows up with my other grid bots that I had deployed in the past. And so after fees and everything, it looks like my total profit came to $47.32, or just shy of 19%. And for a 5-day run, I'm actually pretty happy with that. That's just short of 4% per day. And I really didn't have to do anything with this particular bot. So that pretty much wraps it up. I just wanted to do a quick video to give you an update on how my Binance Futures long-only grid bot was performing, and in the end it ended up winning the battle. So if you like this video, do me a favor, spike a like. I do have an update video on the long/short bot for Binance coming up in the next few days, so now would be a good time to shoot that subscribe button so you don't miss that video. And as usual, if you have any questions or comments, leave those in the comment section down below. I will leave a link to the video where I actually configured and deployed this particular bot in the description down below. And in closing, remember, never send your money in the battle without first doing your recon. See you in the next video.